Hey there, welcome to Professor Purl, a YouTube channel about knitting. I'm Nicole and this is my Flock Fiber Festival haul video. So this video is about everything I purchased at Flock this weekend. So I decided to have my haul video be a separate video. So if you want to hear about the social experiences, that's a separate video. And if you want to see what I purchased, I have this as its own video, just in case people have preferences on what they watch. So I was just thinking where to start here. So I'll start with my very first purchase. I don't know if I'll try and go chronologically, though I might be a little off. Okay, so my very first purchase was from Porter Wool. So Caitlin's a dyer of Porter Wool, and she made this custom color for the Flock Fiber Festival called Flock Party. And she had it available on Friday and sold a lot of it. And so when I came on Saturday to the show, I went to her booth first because I knew I really wanted this colorway. And I had heard the night before that she had sold a lot of this, and so, which is amazing. And so I went there first with my friend Courtney and my friend Jordan, and there was only 2 skeins left, and I had both in my hand, but Courtney won one, so I shared one with her. And I had both in my hand because I was thinking this would make an amazing love note with some like light lavender. But now I have one, and so there's so many options with this. Like I could knit socks, which we all know, if you follow the channel, you know I'm not like the best at making socks. I'm not like I don't make tons and tons of socks. I do enjoy making socks, but I just don't crank them out. So that's an option. It also would make a really cool hat, I feel like. I've been trying to get a good color read on it. It's just so fun, yeah. And I think the name is so fun, Flock Party. So I really was excited about that. Okay. After that, I think I ended up in the Moondrake booth, and I have some Moondrake mohair that I really want to make a sweater out of. I already have some Moondrake yarn, and Moondrake is a dyer that I followed for a long time, and the aesthetic is me, and so I was really excited. I think right before the Moondrake booth was the Spincycle booth, and it was just really busy, and I was like, I can't go in it. And then Moondrake was just as busy, but I was like, I have to like push through this busyness, like not physically, but like mentally push through and just enjoy it and like pick out a color there. And I'm not a huge Spincycle person. Like I'm not one of those people that like collects and like uses a ton of Spincycle, but I did buy Spincycle yarn because this one I feel like is so me, and it's I think a custom Spincycle color for Moondrake, or maybe it's not, but I think it is. It's called, yeah, it is Moondrake exclusive. So this is exclusive to Moondrake, and it's called Moonlight, and like this is like my colors. Pinks and purples and blues and a little bit of green. And I really have wanted to, since I saw it come out this summer, have wanted to make an alpine tee by Caitlin Hunter. And I have some yarn in my collection. I have 2 skeins of a verb for keeping warm that are this beautiful gray, and I was thinking that with this, and it would make a wonderful alpine tee. And even if I don't do the alpine tee, and I knit a different colorwork sweater. This is enough to do like the yoke of a colorwork sweater, and this is the perfect Spincycle color for me, and so I'm really excited about this one. An unexpected purchase. I was going in with like plans in my head of what I would like. Like, you can't go wrong with a love note, can't go wrong with like a colorwork pop. And so I like had plans. And this is where I went off plan. But I think I went off plan in a good way. So I bought these two skeins in Moondrake with no plan in mind, but now I have a plan. So this is her base called Fua Fua. Look at that fuzz, that bright fuzz. And this is a colorway called Neon Princess, which I feel like is really, really me. And I'll read you what the fiber content is. It's 70% brush cashmere and 30% superwash merino. So it feels so like, I was gonna say compare it to mohair or Surrey, but I can't because it's somehow fluffier and softer than that. And we know I love a fluff. And so because it's cashmere, this is only 50 grams and this is only 50 grams, and the yardage isn't a lot. Like, this is 315 yards. And this is 315 yards. So I got something to do, something substantial with these two skeins. But I walked away feeling like, this is where I think I felt like a little stressed at the yarn festival, because I did not want to make purchases I didn't know what I was doing with. And when I walked away from that booth, I was thinking, what am I doing with these two skeins? And through that kind of feeling, after purchasing them, I ended up coming with a plan that I'm really excited about. I'm going chronologically, so we'll get to the plan. So then the next purchase I made, that was also an unexpected purchase in a good way, is this from Fangirl Fibers. So there's this main skein, and then look at these. And Fangirl Fibers was in a booth with Pacific Knit Company and Yarnaceous, and they had, it was just an awesome booth, and they had like these things called doodles, which, yeah, I'll show soon. I guess I'm getting off chronologically. I actually went back to the booth twice. I bought this and then went back for the doodler. So I wasn't planning on buying any kind of like doodler, which is a cowl by Pacific Knit Co. I wasn't planning on doing that because I don't wear a lot of cowls. But this just, I'm like getting into a fall mood with school starting soon, and this just from afar I was like, this is my kind of Halloween aesthetic right here, and I love Halloween and I love spooky season and I love pink, and it's like my Halloween. It's called Scream Queen's Doodle Bundle, and it's DK weight, and yes. So it's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and the main is 246 yards, and then each of these minis is 49 yards. So in total, it's 491 yards. So I mean, this is incredible. And so I was like, oh, this is great. And I was walking away thinking, I'm gonna make spooky socks with it. So I didn't buy the doodler. And now I'm going out of chronological order, but basically later on, after my meet and greet at Purls and Postulates, I was sitting outside knitting with Jordan, and I was just thinking, like, what's the probability that I'm gonna knit socks? Who knows? I have so many socks that I wanna knit. I have like several unfinished pairs. Maybe I would knit these as socks. That would be so cool, but maybe I wouldn't. And so there was a sample of a doodler call in these colors, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So I went back and I bought this Autumn Doodle card deck, and they had all these. And so this is endless customization with one pattern. This mix and match modular colorwork deck unlocks your inner creativity so you can design and knit exactly what you want. And never get bored because it's different every time. These charts also are interchangeable with any Pacific Knit Co. doodle pattern. And so each deck includes 1 instructional card plus 2 cowl pattern cards and 51 color work motif cards. This is incredible. So I won't pop them out so that I don't give anything away, but basically there's 2 cowl patterns and then there's 51 motifs. And so you can put together your own very special cowl, like doodle with yarn. It's so cool. And I don't know why I was like, oh, well, that's not for me. It's so fun. I need to do that. And I love colorwork. So I'm thinking I'm going to cast this on mid-September. And maybe September 15th or something like this. And the reason I'm being oddly specific about it is I have a make along coming up on September 1st that I will announce soon, and I just don't want to cast this on September 1st because of that. And I'm thinking if I wait till October 1st, maybe I won't finish it in time to wear it. So maybe if I cast this on September 15th. Basically what happened at Flat Fiber Festival is I kind of got the feeling that I shouldn't sign up for any more test knits this year. I think I need to, and I think I'm not much of a knitting planner, but I have things I want to do, so I think I need to sit down and write out what I want to do, see if it's possible. And I think it is possible as long as I don't sign up for test knits. And I've got some fun things to do. All right, so then after that, now it's fuzzy to me what we did. We either went to Hello Lavender or the Flock merch. One of the two. I'll start with Hello Lavender after that. I knew I wanted to stop at Hello Lavender because I wanted this Flock exclusive, which is this Progress Keeper and these. These look like a little marigold to me, and I just loved this as soon as I saw it on Instagram, and I knew I wanted to get that at Flock, and so I'm really excited that I did. So I was just gonna get this, but then this one was calling me. It's like my bright, happy aesthetic, and so it's like really cute little flowers with smiley faces, although the one's kind of got a of course I wish the hot pink one had a smiley face on it, but yeah, so cute. So those are from Hello Lavender. And so I either went there or the Flock merch. So then here's the Flock merch. Boop. That I got. I love a crew neck sweatshirt. They're my favorite. And they had really beautiful green t-shirts and cream, but the Flock colors, their logo were this cream background and the black writing, and so I knew I wanted that. And I think it looks really good. And I love my stuff oversized, so I got it in a large size. The other goal I had is I knew that I wanted to find the Super Glow booth. Super Glow Fibers has very bright aesthetic, and I just knew I wanted to buy something there. And my plan in going into the booth was to buy a singular color, a singular bright color in DK weight to make the Sophie shawl, a big Sophie shawl. That was my plan. One color, maybe 3 skeins of DK weight. So that was my plan. And I really departed from that plan. I got these 2 colors. So this is Heliotrope in Surrey Silk, and this is Radioactive in Surrey Silk. So these are 328 yards each, and it's 74% Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. And this is technically fingering, and weight, and the Sophie shawl requires DK weight. So I don't know if my plan's gonna work out, and if it doesn't, it's okay, because I have other plans for this if it doesn't. But what I think would be really cool is to picture the Sophie shawl, and I know that it's supposed to be DK weight, but imagine knitting it at the gauge of DK with this fluff, even though this is not DK, but you can knit it at the gauge of DK. So it would be really airy and light. And then color blocked. So like one side of the Sophie shawl is all this color, and then one side of the Sophie shawl is all this color. So it's just this like color blocked fluffy thing. So that's the plan that I would like to try. And I don't know if this would be enough yarn to make this happen. I think it would be, because it starts off very thin. So I would just knit until this yarn ran out. And then I would start with this yarn and then decrease until this yarn ran out. And I think it would create a large enough Sophie scarf for me. I mean, shawl. There's a Sophie scarf and a Sophie shawl, and I think this would make a big enough Sophie shawl. If that doesn't work out, I was thinking I could just do my own thing. Increase on this side and decrease on this side, because what I'm envisioning it could work. And then my third backup plan, if neither of those things work, is I was thinking there's some sweaters from Knitting Ruin My Life that I really want to do that are color work. I was thinking these could be the pops of color in a colorwork sweater, and it would be that I could do if I end up, look at these, like these look really good together. And so that's the other option, is to just throw out all those plans I just said. And there's a particular sweater from Knitting Ruin My Life where I could use each of these as the color work in it, and that would be amazing together, like incredible actually. So I'm kind of talking myself into that. So everything I got like really coordinates well together actually. Like everything looks good together, which is actually awesome because it gives you some flexibility in what you can do with it. Okay. So then I went to the Purls and Postulates booth, and I imagined buying a lot of yarn at Purls and Postulates, and I didn't end up buying any yarn, and I think it was because of this, which sounds so silly, but this is what happens to me. Sometimes I like something so much I can't make a decision, and that is what happened at Purls and Postulates booth. I like came in with a plan of like what yarn I was going to get, and then I was like, no, I like this yarn, no, I like this yarn, no, I like this yarn. Which was just kind of like, wait, I can just like reflect on this and make a like more rational decision, because I was being like almost irrational in the booth about what I wanted. And what it is because Jessica's dye style is just like so good. Like, and I liked everything. An example was, I am not a dark green person. I don't buy dark green yarn. I don't knit with dark green yarn. But Gary came in and bought one of the colors. I think it was an astronomy colorway that was like dark green with browns in it from Jessica. And I was like in love. I was like, I need that. And I was literally gonna buy that. And I was like, I'm not making good decisions now, because am I buying this because Gary did, or am I buying it because I wanted it? And like a part of me still kind of wants it, but then I'm like, I don't wear dark green. But maybe I would, I don't know. So I've been struggling with that. But I did know about two things I wanted. I knew I wanted this little bag she had, and it's covered in fuzz right now, of course. It says Fiber Steminist on it, and it has her Purls and Postulates logo on it. It says, a fiber steminist, noun, an advocate for women and equal representation of diverse groups in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields whose support is typified by the purchase of themed yarns and notions. I was like, perfect. And that worked out really great, because when I was traveling, after I bought this, I put all my stickers in here in my book bag. These are some of my stickers from the Purls and Postulates booth. And okay, then the other thing I bought that I was like, I knew going into it I wanted, just because Dad carved these needles. So these tapestry needles, carved them out of antler, I think. deer antler. It's so unique. And so I knew I wanted one of these. Now, I feel like this would be for bulkier yarn, but it comes in this glass little vial and I loved it. And then she snuck some stitch markers into my booth, which was so sweet. So she did these really cool hexagon stitch markers. And hexagons are my favorite polygons. That is so sweet. And then she gave me this. And this is a very, very thoughtful gift. So she had these little stitch markers she made. This, so much science, so cute. On the graph paper too, like. And what's sweet about it is it's in the colorway I Lobe You. And so my very first shawl design that I designed for release in her booth, Woolgathering Shawl, I did it at the yarn colorway I Lobe You, and that's the colorway that's inside of here. And so I just think that's very sweet. My neighbors are mowing lawn. Sorry, I'm almost done. So, talking about stitch markers, I ended up getting these. Two. Okay. These were, I'm out of order. I forgot about these. I bought these when I was standing in line at Flock. I don't know if they're gonna show up. They're like these metal ones like this. I just loved the colors. Like there's a pink in there and stuff. So I bought that when I bought my sweatshirt, right before I did my meet and greet. Okay. So while I was doing my meet and greet, my friend Jordan was like, hey, the Explorer Knits and Fibers does not have a long line if you want something from there. Because I hadn't been wanting to stand in the long line. And so through all the walking, I remembered my goal of walking into the day, which is Emily, who's the Botanical Knitter, both on Instagram and on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. She and I are both going to be at Sacred Sheep in Portland, Oregon, another yarn festival, in November. And so we thought it would be fun to have matching sweaters. And so we picked milkweed, and hopefully I'm putting in a picture of this sweater. So it's a DK weight sweater. So when I was walking around, I was like, you know what? This cashmere could be my color work. Now, this is a fingering, but it's so fluffy that there's a piece of me that's like, could I knit it at a DK weight? Maybe. Also, I have enough I could hold it double to make it thicker to be the color work, which would be great. So I'm leaning towards that this will be the contrast color. Well, in my head, I was thinking that, but I was like, I need to find a color that matches it. And I had looked at Sorella yarn when I was there, and I thought that could work. But again, I had a long line and it was beautiful. I was like, I don't know if I want to stay in line. And so Jordan's like, I can go get you a yarn. So I was like, okay, take one of these colors with you to Explore Knits and Fibers and find something that you think looks good with it. And she found 3 yarns and she took pictures of them and came back. And she was like, which one do you like best? And I was like, I think I like this one. And this is where I made good/bad decisions for the day. So good decision, got this yarn. So this is what Jordan picked out. And maybe the camera, it's just looking great to you, okay? But in person, it's like, you know how grays, either like a greeny gray or a bluey gray? This one's like a purpley gray in person. And it's not tonal, but it is, like, it's so good. And so I like this gray a lot. And I like this with this a lot. Like, I like this a lot. But here's the just absolutely cool thing about my yarn purchases. Watch this. These look really good together. These look really good together. This looks really good together. Like all my things, like, I mean, I'm not doing this, but I mean, like, literally, like, everything I got, like, pairs with this. I mean, seriously, like, I could do a lot of people like this combo. And there's a piece of me that really likes this combo, but I think this is what I'm gonna go with. For my milkweed sweater, I'll either hold this single or hold this double, because this is technically listed as fingering, but it's so fluffy, so I'm gonna do a swatch and see what I like. Okay, so good decisions, but here was the bad decision. I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was feeling overwhelmed at Flock Fiber Festival. There's a lot of people, there was a lot of decisions that had to be made, there's yarn everywhere, sensory overload. I was feeling very overwhelmed. Like, in a good way, like, it's awesome to meet new friends, it's awesome to have tons of yarn choices, but I was feeling overwhelmed. And so I had my pattern on my phone. So I knew the exact yardage I needed for the main color, which is 1,300 yards. I needed 1,300 yards. And I didn't even look at my pattern. I just like recently knit a DK weight sweater, and it was short sleeve though, and it was color work, a lot of color work, and I only needed 3 skeins. So I looked at Jordan and I said, get me 4 skeins, that'll be good. Didn't do any math, anything. The next day, I'm like, you know, maybe I should look at that pattern. And like, as I'm getting on the train, side note. And I realized, actually, I needed 5 skeins of this. I really needed 5 skeins of this, not 4 skeins of this. And I'm not upset by it, like, because I'm like, well, what am I gonna do now? And I'm just gonna knit a short sleeve sweater. Just gonna knit a short sleeve sweater, perhaps. Or maybe I'll surprise and I'll get longer, like 3-4 lengths sleeves or something. Who knows? But it's gonna work out just fine. So I'm not upset. But there was part of me that was like, I did make a bad decision though. I should have looked at like how much yardage I needed. So I texted Emily, because she was working in the Silly Goose Fibers booth. So she was there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I said, could you look at Explore Knits and see if there's some, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, which is unfortunate because this is a very famous place in Washington, Squem. It's in Rocky's DK 100% superwash merino. I need to learn how to pronounce that properly. So, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm so sorry that I'm saying it poorly, Squem is known for its like lavender feels, and so this being a gray lavender is very appropriate. So she wasn't able to get me a skein, so I appreciated her looking. I made a, you know, in search of post in the Explore Knits and Fibers Ravelry group, like I'm searching for a 5th skein. I don't think I'm gonna get it because I'm pretty sure like this was available at Flock, and so nobody who bought this at Flock is gonna be like, you know what, let me de-stash like a skein of this, like sure, you know what I mean? So I think I'm like, I have 4 skeins and that's what I have. So my plan is to not cut the yarn in the back of my swatch, so I can use my swatch yarn if I'm running close on Yarn Chicken. And my plan is to knit the whole sweater like top to bottom, and then do the sleeves last, because yeah, like that's my only option. And like whatever yarn, after I do my whole body top to bottom, I will take whatever's left, split that in half, and just knit until I run out of yarn for my sleeves. Like I'll figure out like what I can do for my sleeves. So maybe it's a short sleeve sweater, maybe it's longer, but it'll be awesome. And oh, I forgot to show this. So my Fangirl Fibers yarn came inside of this bag that's iridescent. So it was like a shopping bag, and it's so cute, but I'm going to use it as a yarn bag. It's really my Musselburgh that I started when I was at the festival. And it says, in my defense, I was left unsupervised and the Fiber Festival was open. And I feel like, yeah. Oh, okay. That is all my purchases, but one more. There's one more thing, and it's non-yarn related. So there was a stationery shop set up at the yarn festival, and I think that's genius because a lot of knitters like journaling and stationery. And yeah, so I've wanted to have a black wing pencil for a long time, so I bought myself a black wing pencil. It says half the pressure, twice the speed, and a new eraser. So that's gonna be a fun way to start the school year. I got Kyle one of those too, and I'll put the name of the shop here. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Norwegian last name, and I don't know how to say that O. So anyway, there we go. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Well, as you can see, I have a lot of really fun new yarn now, and hopefully you'll see it on the channel more the rest of this year as I wrap up the latter half of 2023 making and things. And so thanks so much for watching, and yeah, if you haven't checked out the other video yet where I talk about my social experiences at Block, I have that video too. So thanks so much for watching. Bye!